keep an eye on Ja this summer. They're just deep enough into the Ja Morant life cycle and also the Ja, Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. grouping. And like, they're young enough. They should have plenty of runway. But again, in this league, you never have as much runway as you think you're going to have. And Ja's obviously had some issues. Everything's been fine for a while here. So not to overplay stuff from a year and a half, 2 years ago, but at a certain point, teams will pivot. And there's always, for everything we know publicly, there's always a little bit that's going on below the surface too.
Ja Morant? The Grizzlies are considering trading Ja Morant. Demetrius? Fake gangster. That Ja Morant? That can't be possible, right? Well, Casey, it's not possible. The Grizzlies GM's already said that they're not interested in trading Ja Morant. Yeah, because NBA general managers are known for being 100% transparent. One thing we know for certain, Ja Morant won't be traded this season for obvious reasons. He can't be. The trade deadline's already passed. But what about this summer? According to Howard Beck, just like you heard, if the Grizzlies don't make a deep playoff run this season, which I would assume means they got to make the conference finals at minimum, if the Grizzlies don't make a deep playoff run, Ja Morant could be traded this offseason. 3 weeks ago, this was unfathomable. NBA teams do not trade superstar players. They'll trade stars. They'll trade guys like Zach LaVine. They'll trade DeMar DeRozan or DeJounte Murray. But there's always been a handful of guys in the league that were considered untouchable. Ja Morant belongs in that class. Ja Morant used to be considered untouchable until the Mavs traded Luka Doncic. I told you guys at the time, the Mavs trading Luka Doncic, that could be a signal that NBA owners are taking back their power. For the better part of a decade, superstar players have run the league while owners have essentially been powerless. Name another industry where the employees have more power than the employers. Go ahead. I'll wait. When superstar players were making $30 million, $40 million a year, they could get away with missing training camp. They could get away with missing 25, 30 games during the regular season. They just needed to be ready for the playoffs. But with this new TV deal where NBA players could soon be making $100 million a year and role players could be making 40, 50, 60 million, it changes everything. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you happen to stumble upon this video, be sure to check out my main channel, Behind the Line. Link to the main channels in the description below. The good news, if you're a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies, the situation with Ja Morant, it's different than what the Mavs were dealing with Luka Doncic. Luka was coming up on an extension this summer. The Mavs were looking at having to pay him $350 million. The Grizzlies have Ja Morant under contract for the next 3 years, and soon his contract will be viewed as a bargain because he's making around $40 million a year. But there is a similarity between Ja Morant and Luka Doncic. Injuries, off-the-court issues, missed games. Going into the season, Ja Morant had played in 257 out of 410 games. He's missed, 40% of the regular season during his career? Now, part of the reason for that is because his ass was suspended. This dude was about to be the face of the league, but he was too busy playing fake gangster. Ja Morant cost himself hundreds of millions of dollars because he wanted to play with guns on Instagram. That makes sense to me, but what the hell do I know? I'm a grown-up. Think about it, though. Who is talking about Ja Morant today as the face of the NBA? No one. We talk about Anthony Edwards, talk about Wemby, Luka. Hell, some in New Orleans still think Zion could be the face of the league when he can't even be the face of that shitty franchise. But Ja Morant isn't even in the conversation. And one of the main reasons for that is because he's never on the court. He's already missed 22 games this season. He's already disqualified for postseason awards. Now, do I think the Grizzlies are going to trade Ja Morant this summer? No. Do I think there are serious concerns about his long-term viability? Yes. I don't think Howard Beck is making this up. I don't think Howard Beck said this to farm engagement. This is coming from somewhere. Someone within the organization has serious concerns about Ja Morant. And I think we are going to see more and more of this going forward. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how much money you have. There's a huge difference in paying someone $40 million and paying someone $100 million. It is human nature for your expectations to rise when you're paying someone that kind of money. If you're making $40 an hour at work and you're suddenly making $100 an hour, you don't think that your boss is going to expect more from you? That once every month that you call in sick, gone. Leaving early on Friday afternoon to go to the casino, gone. Taking an extra 5 minutes on your smoke break, gone. It's the same thing in the NBA. When Luka is making $150 million over 5 years, missing training camp is a nuisance. Showing up out of shape is an inconvenience. Bitching to the officials, whining and complaining, that's just immaturity. When you're paying $350 million or $500 million, it's a deal breaker. Like I said, I don't think Ja Morant's going to be traded this summer. If he was going into the final year of his contract, it would be different. But with 3 years left on what will soon be considered a bargain deal, I just don't see a small market team like the Grizzlies letting him go. But I do think we could see this with more regularity in the NBA. I do think NBA owners are putting superstar players on notice. Get your shit together or your ass will be out of here. But Casey, why would they care? They'll just get paid by another team. Yeah, but it'll be significantly less money. Luka, he lost over $100 million when he was traded to the Lakers, which is why I said at the time the move was a flex. I think NBA owners are finally taking back their power. But give me your thoughts on this. Will Ja Morant be traded this summer? I don't see it, but I also don't think Howard Beck is making it up. Also, do you think NBA owners are finally taking back their power? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the main channel.